What if every birth meant walking? What if every step forward was away from the past, and children learned not from stories by the fire, but from bleeding feet and storm-bitten skies? This is not a tale of settling. This is a legend of movement of families who raised their young, not in safety but in the rhythm of endless survival. A low sun burns behind the clouds, spilling gold across the thickets and tall grass. Wind presses flat the savanna, and through it moves a line, not warriors, not wanderers, but something in between. A band of early Homo habilis, lean and dust-covered, their limbs hardened by the journey. At the center, a female walks bent at the waist, her child slung across her chest, arms clasped tight. The infant's eyes blink wide against the dust, but do not cry. They've learned not to. Behind them, two juveniles carry woven leaves sloshing with water drawn from a stream hours ago. A male at the front pauses, hand lifted. Silence ripples backward. Insects drone. In the distance, a tree line broken. Movement. The herd is near. Today's chance at meat limps at the edge of exhaustion. But they are not alone. Another band, older, larger, has already begun the stalk. Across the dry gully, dark shapes crouch low with intent. This is not shared land. The prey is not enough for both. The air grows tense like the space before thunder. Still, there's no time for confrontation. The matriarch signals the children away. A signal of retreat, but not surrender, not yet. They shift course northeast toward the cliffs where flint can be found, and the winds carry fewer teeth. The sky darkens. A storm brews pregnant with danger and cold. Every footstep now is survival versus delay. Every second weighs the safety of the young against the hunger in their stomachs. A child stumbles. The youngest. His knee hits rock, splitting skin. He does not cry. His sister kneels, swiftly dabs the wound with crushed leaves thick with tannin. The matriarch does not stop. She only slows just enough for the group to gather again. They cannot afford stillness. Thunder breaks. Not just in the sky, but from the forest's edge. A saber-toothed cat, starved and emboldened by the scent of weakness, breaks cover with a guttural growl. The group spins. No time for spears, they are too close to the cliff base. No tools, only instinct. The male lunges between the beast and the matriarch. Behind him, the juveniles throw rocks. A stone glances off the predator's flank, not enough to wound, but enough to startle. Enough to buy seconds. Seconds are everything. The cat snarls. It steps forward again, and then the storm strikes. The sky explodes. Rain lashes the earth in sheets. Lightning forks above the cliffs, casting the entire scene in a flickering, savage light. The saber-toothed cat flinches, snarling, its body rigid with alarm. But it does not flee. Hunger is louder than thunder. The Homo habilis band scatters, but not in panic. They move with practiced coordination learned over migrations, measured in generations, not miles. The children are pulled behind limestone outcrops. The injured boy is lifted onto a sister's back. Hands grip hands. Feet dig for traction in the mud-slick stone. The matriarch does not run. She circles wide, drawing the predator's eye. Her arms out her posture, defiant. Her body is scarred with time. This is not the first death she has faced. The male follows her lead, snatching a half-shaped flint tool from a pouch of hide. It is not finished, just a sharp wedge, but it gleams like hope. The cat charges. The matriarch pivots, slamming a large branch against the rock wall. creating a deafening crack. The beast hesitates, then leaps. In that second, the male strikes. The flint slices deep into the shoulder muscle. A scream from the cat this time. It stumbles, blood mixing with rain, and finally flees. Disappears into the storm as quickly as it came. Silence. No cheers. Just heavy breathing. The rain continues quieter now. The danger has passed, but exhaustion takes its place. As the storm light fades, the band regroups. No one is dead. That is enough. A small fire is sparked beneath an overhang smoke, coaxed from damp twigs and dry bark carried in slings. The warmth is brief but sacred. The matriarch tends to the wounded child, chewing a leaf before pressing it into the open cut. The saliva activating its sting, its healing. The older children share a sliver of dried root and pass a strip of sun-dried meat between them. There is no laughter, but there is calm. A calm, hard one. Dawn breaks early. The clouds hang lower, but the rain has stopped. The ground is a patchwork of puddles and fallen branches. The group moves again, slower, but unified. Ahead lies the Bone Ridge, a place where their ancestors once settled briefly, a place where tools had been buried and bones carved. They are not returning. They are only passing through. They reach the ridge by midday. There, overlooking the open plains, the matriarch stops. Her eyes sweep the horizon, not looking for prey, but for patterns. Smoke, movement, other clans. She sees nothing, but her body tenses nonetheless. She kneels and places a hand on the warm stone. The children gather beside her. One of the oldest, a girl nearing adulthood, lifts her gaze toward the sky and mimics the matriarch's motion. She too is learning to read the silence, to raise the next generation while moving. This is how families are built, not with homes, but with momentum. By the time the sun leans westward, the ridge opens into a narrow valley carved by time and scattered with rock shelters. The air here smells of flint and marrow. The band halts beneath a curved wall of stone pocked with soot stains from fires long extinguished. It is not home, but it is enough for a night, maybe two. The children collapse in a circle, arms wrapped around their knees. One child hums not a song, but a rhythm, the beat of walking feet, the sound of movement passed down like language. The adult male sharpens the flint he once used to cut the predator. The matriarch observes not to correct, but to remember. Each flake chipped from the stone is like a breath, rough but necessary. A younger female prepares fiber ropes, twisting plant stems with calloused hands. Another female sorts leaves and fungi gathered along the ravine wall, identifying which cure, which numb, which kill. The boy with the injured knee sits beside the fire. His wound is stiff but sealed. He does not flinch when it is checked again. He watches the others with wide, serious eyes. He is already learning that survival is not recovery. It is motion. It is vigilance. That night, the band feasts on scavenged marrow and boiled roots. A mother rocks her child with her own breath, back and forth, matching the sway of wind-swept trees. The girl from the ridge earlier stands at the edge of the shelter, staring into the black, her body upright, alert. She sees movement, not threat, but shapes. A migrating herd far off. Elk, perhaps. Maybe more. At dawn, the band rises without call. This is instinct now. The tools are packed. The fire doused. Leaves are tied with water. Infants are strapped against chests. And the group begins again. Their feet leave behind shallow prints in the softened earth, not for others to follow, but as a quiet testament that even in constant motion, life is passed forward. Each child carries a lesson: how to drink from leaves, how to whisper through reeds to signal danger, how to make warmth with friction and patience. There are no words, only hands, only eyes, only memory. Ahead lies more uncertainty, other bands, deeper forests, colder nights. But also fruit-heavy trees, caves with warm stone, and the possibility of meat. They walk not with hope, but with certainty that movement is the only tradition. That to raise a child while migrating is not to deprive them of roots, but to teach them how to grow without needing soil. At the crest of the next hill, the matriarch pauses, the wind lifts her hair, and the infant against her chest stirs, opening its eyes to a world not yet known. She smiles, not for joy, but for endurance. Behind her, the band spreads out like a living chain, each link strong, each step forward, carrying the story of a people who raise not just children, but resilience. And then they vanish into the tall grass one by one.